welcome everyone. It is your girl, Nicole Ryan with Lana Solutions. Today, your Debt Diva. And I have none other than the BC Clark with me today. Welcome, BC.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. And BC has some fabulous stuff going on, and I had to have her here, especially with everything that we're doing with the whole debt elimination, making sure we're paying attention to finances. And I spend a lot of time talking about personal items, but today I just thought it would be amazing to have BC here so we can talk more about small businesses and everything we have and have not going on in the business arena. So first off, BC, if you could do me the pleasure and let our guests know kind of who you are.
Okay.
And just
Sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, as you've stated, I'm BC Clark. I'm CEO and founder of the Business Connection, also president of the Metro Omaha Women's Business Center. Both of those entities have been really near and dear to my heart. So when we talk about small business, that is what I live, sleep, breathe, and eat every day, keeping abreast of everything so that I can make sure that my clients have what they need.
Yes.
And the things that they don't think about sometimes in business is those things that can hold them back or keep them stuck. The Metro Omaha Women's Business Center was started because of my my passion to see women grow.
Yeah.
And whether it's in business, whether it's in their career, or even if they're a stay-home mom, how can I be the best version of me?
Yes.
You know, what is my purpose and how do I fulfill it? And so those things are something that I just I feel really strongly about.
Yeah.
And those are things that I stay involved in.
Right.
So as the president of Metro Omaha Women's Business Center, of course, I created education because I believe that business education and just finding out who you are is so important for you to make the right decisions, especially if you're in business, whether you have a career. You know, for a long time, women thought, well, there's a glass ceiling. And I, purposely did a whole presentation on that because there's nothing on the top of your head but Jesus Christ.
Wow.
And if you believe in him, you can walk past and walk up through anything.
Wow.
And so that is something that I preached for a long time.
Right.
And so I don't hear people saying that there's a glass ceiling on top of me because so many women now have bust through that, and it was just a facade anyway.
Yes.
But I think education is really important when it comes to no matter what we're doing.
Right.
We need to know as much as we can
Right.
about that, whether it's a business, so understanding that industry,
Right.
understanding what things you need to do and know in order to get in that industry and be successful.
Right.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Right.
You know, I meet so many people and I say, well, I don't want to ask that. I don't want anybody to think I'm dumb or stupid.
Right.
And I always say, I don't, put them down. I say, but if you don't ask that question, what does that make you?
Right.
What are you at that point?
Gotcha.
And they was like, yeah, I never thought about that. I say, because if you don't know it, you need to find out because you're not the only one.
Yeah.
Other people are saying the same thing. I don't want to ask the question. I don't want anybody to know that I don't know this.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so if we never ask the question, how can we ever grow? How can we ever get to that next level?
Can't.
Right? So people talk about all these levels of level 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Right.
But the thing is that when you have confidence and you know what you're doing and where you're going.
Yes.
The doors are open and you can say, Lord, open up the doors.
I agree.
So I can just walk through. I don't want to have to worry about touching a doorknob.
Ooh,
open up
just
those doors.
walk through.
Walk through.
Open door.
Right. And that comes with purpose. When you find out who you are and whose you are,
Yes.
you're able to move more freely.
Yes.
And with confidence.
Yes.
So I'll let you ask the next questions. That's like,
No,
I just roll.
but it's so
I will
good,
roll
and that
on.
is how she rolls, and that's what I love about her. Okay, so I'll start, and I'll go ahead. Can you share the story behind which you somewhat did the founding of, wait for it, you guys, the Business Connection, and what inspired you to start it?
I got to tell you, with MOWBC, I was interviewing a lot of women, not at the studio. I was just, and so there was a man that was at KPAO at the time, Jim Nelson.
Okay.
And he had said, I really wish you would come down to the studio. This went on like 2 or 3 weeks. He and I would see each other at networking. He's like, why don't you come into the studio? And then one day, somebody just said, why don't you call him and go to the studio? And so I did. And so we met, right here, and he said, so I think you should have a show.
Right.
And I said, well, I said, well, why? He said, well, you're already interviewing people. Why don't you just do it? And he said, what do you interview people about? I said, business. And he said, well, and say, when you interview, what happens? I said, well, those are business connections. So this is giving you the whole thing. And so and he said, so what do you think you want to call it? I said, well, the business connection.
Yes.
Because to me, that's what it was, and that's what it is. Because if I can bring visibility to those businesses, that's going to cause a lot of connections, right? Yes. And so that's what the whole thing was really about.
Yes.
But when I started my business in 2003, it was called Leading Edge Entrepreneur Group.
Okay.
And I had 2 other partners, and we did marketing. We did a lot of going into businesses, small businesses, and assessing them, looking at how they could run more efficiently. And so when I did the Business Connection, that name came about around 2014 when I started the show. But and then since then, it just kind of like became everything.
Right.
So it's not only the programming that I do, the consulting that I do.
Yes.
So it's all of those things into one.
Okay.
And I think it's probably a really great name.
I think it's perfect. Now I know the story behind the name and everything. That's beautiful.
So the Business Connection, our tagline is, we're the gateway to small business resources.
Oh, wow. Which you have been for many years.
So it just kind of fell in place.
That's beautiful.
The master said this is what it should be.
What are some of the key challenges you observe small business owners face? And how does the Business Connection, what you can, divulge, address these issues?
And, it's so wide open, but there's so many things and here's what I would like to say. Everything has to have a foundation.
Okay.
We understand that. And if that foundation isn't set properly, so even if we were to build a house, in order for that house to be sturdy if a storm came, we would have to have a firm foundation. It has to be built correctly. We must lay down all the things that we must lay down in that foundation so it can hold whatever we put on it.
Yes.
And so in businesses, I think a lot of times we forget a lot of the things about the foundation, which causes us, as we go along within that first 5 years, to begin to sink.
Yeah.
And over time, what it seems that those things are the really things that are really critical. It's like planning effectively. Because if you don't plan effectively and don't know where you're going, it's really hard to keep the goal in front of you if you don't have one.
Okay.
So coming out of the chute, before you launch, and this is just something that I always share with clients, whether they're just starting up and they just are asking for advice. I really work with a lot of businesses who are been in business maybe a couple years or more.
Yes.
Because then they've laid some things out, and then they know kind of where they want to go now that they've made all the mistakes.
Okay.
I can come in and I can help them move forward. If someone has been in business, they're established, and they think they're ready to scale.
Yes.
Well, that's a whole nother level of business.
Yes.
And so, there's a whole consultation has to go along with that to identify what things that are needed in order for that business to scale.
Okay.
And if those things are not in place, my answer is always, let's work on making it so that you can scale. But at this point in time, you don't have everything in place.
Gotcha.
Because your financials need to be up. There should be steady growth in your sales, right?
Yes,
you have to have a team that understands where they're going, where you're going, and are following and making the changes that they need to make in order to fulfill the mission. And so if we don't have that A team and we don't understand our financials, if our sales are not going up, it's not time.
Right.
It's just not time.
Right.
And sometimes people don't want to hear that, but I'd much rather tell them the truth than have them jump out and then have to revert. And then, now they've got to do a whole lot of things all over again. So I think that's why I always say education is really important.
It is.
So understanding where you're going, and that takes planning.
Right.
It's not like you can just say, oh, I'm going to start a business. And then you start the business.
Right.
And then the first year, you're lost money, you've done all these things, and you're saying, well, I'm just going to close the business.
Right.
And maybe that's not really what it is. Maybe it's that we need to rethink what we started out with.
Yes.
What do I need to do so that I can get to the next level?
Right.
Or what did I learn from this first year? Because every year there has to be a reality check.
Yes.
You know, okay, what's my revenue that I had planned to make? And what did I do? What were the goals that were going to help me make that revenue for that year? And if I don't get there, then what do I need to change? Is there something I need to add? Is there something I need to take away?
Yes.
Was I too aggressive in setting that revenue? You know what I mean? So it's so much stuff that is, and so those challenges can be from all directions.
Right.
But the thing is that when you realize that you have made some mistakes, don't keep making mistakes.
Right.
You have to stop and you know, and it is, you know, because, you know, we look at things and, you know, it's
Look,
like,
I'll be the first one.
you know,
Good with
and
it.
I'm
I've
talking
learned.
from experience.
I know you are.
Because,
I
you
know
know,
you are.
we all make mistakes because if we've
Yes.
never owned a business before,
Fell forward.
you fail forward,
Yes.
but you don't stay there.
You do not
You
stay
jump
there.
up and say,
Yes.
okay,
What did I
so
learn?
what did I learn and how do I go forward?
Indeed.
You know? And you take the time to find out what you need to do so that when you stand back up, now you can move forward.
Definitely.
Because you can't move forward laying on the floor.
Not
So
at all.
we have to be practical. We have to understand where we are and be honest with yourself.
Yes.
You know,
That's
because
good.
sometimes, you know, and you know that, Diva, you know, sometimes it's our finances, right?
Yes.
Sometimes, look, everybody gets in trouble.
Come on.
You know, everybody gets in trouble. And not that it's of their own fault, but maybe they didn't plan accordingly. Or maybe they lost income. Okay?
Yes.
Because if you lose income, something is gonna start
shifts.
it's gonna start falling behind.
Come
And all of a
on.
sudden now the score is going down. And you're like, oh my God, you know, I'm used to having this and now I'm there.
Yes.
And you have to get through that because it will mess with your mind.
Astute everything.
Yes. And so your mentality is being challenged now because now you're worrying.
Yes.
You know, that, oh my God, I can't pay this, I can't pay that. But we have to, you know, really stand up and say, okay, you know what? I need to call these people and see if I can work out something. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And you have to do that.
We
So,
do.
and when you say, oh, I don't want to do that because, you know, hey, pride don't have no place in our
That's
life.
out the door.
It's out the door.
It is.
Because if, you know, someone that's trying to run this company
Because we
that
need
fell
each other.
forward 6 times and filed bankruptcy 6
come
times,
on.
surely
We've seen
you can have an issue.
our own ex-president Donald
Yes.
Trump filed bankruptcy. I don't know how many times,
6, I
but
think
it's
it
in the
was.
headline. But you know what? It's not anything he has to brag about.
No.
It's like, okay, and I moved on.
And I moved on.
And here I
And
am
we have to do
today.
the same
we
thing.
have to be able
Because
to.
that's right. And the thing is that I think you need to surround yourself with positive people.
Yes, indeed.
Not with people that's going to say, oh, girl, I don't know what you're going to
Right.
do. You do not need them, okay? You need to get them out your life as soon as you can. Because those are people who will keep you where you are. So if you know, always try to pattern yourself or get with people who are where you want to go.
Yes.
Because they'll always drop a tip on you. They'll always drop some kind of nugget on you
Yes.
that will help you. That one nugget can move you forward
And
10
it
spaces.
does, yes.
And so you have to learn, you know, okay, why am I here? Right? No, you know, and don't, look, somebody created you.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So why not go back to that person?
That'd be my first person. to
My
go
first
to.
priority.
Be my
and
first
say,
person.
okay, Daddy,
I'd be like, look here, God.
where you want me to go from here?
Okay, because like
know.
you said,
And you said you're going to provide, so I need you to do that. Well, I think that sometimes people don't realize and don't have the faith to believe who he is. And
Yes,
so,
the answers.
unfortunately, that's their loss. But hopefully, they get to that point where they say, you know what, I don't know where else to go.
Right.
And so up is always a good place.
it is. I agree with you there. 100%. 1,000%.
Always a good place. I'm
It
not saying,
is.
because you can't go back.
No.
You definitely ain't going down.
Not at all.
So you got to go up.
Got to
and
go.
get what you need.
I
And
love
don't
it.
be afraid to talk to people.
Not at all. Thank you so much. And I know with the business connection, that is for profit, but MOWBC
It's a
is
nonprofit.
still around, and it's still nonprofit.
Yeah, and
Listen
we do a
up,
lot of
ladies,
education.
my small business owners here in Omaha, Nebraska, and the surrounding areas.
Yes.
BC has been pouring into us for years, and I can still attest to connections I've made there, and there's nothing like true, genuine networking.
Yeah.
No one is looking for anything of you except your presence. And when we show up at MOWBC and all its fabulous affairs, we get to not only have BC pour into us, but a lot of her guest speakers from around the area that are just on several different levels and platforms that connect us and help us to get with the right positive people that
Yes.
pour into us and don't take from us. So if you are a
That's important.
lady, small business owner, and you're listening, where can they find MOWBC?
Well, they can go to our website,
Okay.
which is MOW, B as in boy, C as in cat, F as in Frank.org.
Okay.
They can give us a call at 402-763-0540. And understanding that there are two streams of education.
Okay.
One with MOWBC and the other one with the Business Connection.
Okay.
Okay. So in the Business Connection, we do it. I mean, we address all of the business topics.
Yes.
I mean, and we do a lot of events that bring people together so you can learn more about other businesses.
Okay.
And collaborate and
Yes.
connect. Because collaboration is something huge, and a lot of people think, oh, I need to do this by myself.
No.
But I'm gonna tell you something. One man on the island, if he's hungry, then he has nowhere to go. There's
It's
no,
just
y'all can't
him.
eat, he can't even eat nobody else's fingers, right?
Nope.
So you have to learn when you need to connect with someone.
Yes,
Okay,
that
and
part.
collaboration is huge. The other thing I'll say is that in MOWC, we do a session every quarter, but we also have a program called ROS, which
Yes.
is Rise, Own, Start, and Succeed.
Okay.
And it was primarily designed for women
Uh-huh.
to go from startup to launch.
Uh-huh.
However, we have had men to join that class.
Okay.
So it's open to anyone right now.
Right.
We have one for the young entrepreneur girls from 12 to 18 years old.
Yes, you do.
And they have an 18-week program. So we teach them personal development, professional development.
Okay.
We go into business topics and introduce them to Business 101.
Yes.
And we also teach them how to pitch.
Okay.
And so that class kicks up right after November. And
Okay.
yes, and it'll be up for 2 weeks, and then after the holidays, it kicks on again until the school year ends.
Okay.
And so if you have 12 or 18-year-olds out there that want to just learn about business, learn about having more understanding of personal development
Yes.
and professional development, I think that there will be something that they'll be. And the thing is that right now, up until I think it's December 15th,
Okay.
they can register for those classes.
Okay.
The young entrepreneur girls can for free.
Awesome. Do you hear that, you guys? And we'll make sure that we have this information up after the show so you can connect with BC Clark and all her fabulous endeavors. So from the youth to the men, the women, the small business owners, you have somewhere you can reach out that's safe. I'm a product of BC. And so many other fabulous leaders right here in Omaha that are genuine and they truly pour into us. So make sure you connect. All right, now you have rich history in business development and mentoring. How has this experience shaped your approach to supporting women and minority entrepreneurs?
That is such a great question, and I love that. I think before, I worked for a nonprofit for a while, for almost 8 years. I thought it would be 3, but it was 8,
Okay.
almost 8. But anyway, what I found out in that arena was, even though I'm a minority, you don't know everything about yourself, okay? You don't know everything about what people do in business. And so I always say that when you're mentoring someone, you learn as much from them as they do from you. And even though you're the mentor, if people think that they know everything,
Right.
I feel sorry for them
Right.
because you can learn from everybody.
Come on.
You can. And remember to respect people.
Yes.
Don't disrespect people because they don't have a job as good as yours.
Amen.
Understanding that when I went into that neighborhood, in the community, and began to create programs because I would work with someone or be mentoring someone and they didn't understand anything about credit. They didn't understand anything about how to price their products.
Yes.
They didn't know how to, understand communication.
Right.
So those things I started creating not only workshops for, but also events.
Okay.
So people could see
Right.
how things could be done, And over those 8 years, I have, it changed me, but I know I changed a lot of people.
Right.
I know I mentored over 6,000 people
have.
during that time, business owners. I know that over 1,300, probably 3,000 businesses
Right.
probably got started. And the thing is that I'm not saying, oh, this is what I did.
No.
But the man within me did that. But
Indeed.
here's the thing.
And it wasn't about that. It was me about getting information out to the community so they could be better.
Right.
Because I think when you educate the community, you educate the whole family.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's what was the greatest. You know, I felt like I didn't have to get paid to do that.
Right.
It was something I loved doing, and when I could see people changing,
Right.
when you can work with someone that came in with a 500 credit score, you know what I'm talking about,
Yes.
because you did that Diva. But but then they can, in a year they've left and now they're something buying a house.
Right.
Those are things that you can't, nobody can pay
It's
you for
priceless.
that. It's priceless.
That stuff
it
is
really
priceless.
is. And the thing I would say, Nicole, is our Debt Diva is. Find out where you go for your resources and use the resources.
Yes.
So if you guys are having any problems with debt, I'm telling you, Debt Diva, she knows how to get you out of debt.
Yes.
So don't say, don't take things for granted.
Right.
Don't, we get educated on this stuff because we want to be able to give you what you need and get you out of where you are.
Right.
That's what we do. We're passionate about what we do.
That's what we
This
do.
woman here, she's in the car wash talking about debt. Okay? You could go on Facebook. She's in the car wash giving you tips about debt. If you haven't watched, and I'm watching, I'm taking notes.
Credit and car
okay?
wash.
Because you never know when you'll get in trouble.
You just
right?
want to pour
You
into
just, yeah.
people.
And and the thing about it is that's your time, but that's the passion you have to see the community and everybody else grow.
Yes.
And get better.
Yep.
So that they understand debt.
Indeed.
And that's education too.
It is.
Right?
It is.
And the thing that we want to say is that discipline.
Yes.
Okay? Because you can't be consistent without discipline.
Right.
Okay? So, and I'm going to say this. If you say you open up at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning, please open up at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. Don't have people wondering if you're coming in that day.
No.
This is your business.
We got to honor our customers.
This is your brand.
Yep.
You have to do and be what you say.
Yes.
If not, you lose people.
I agree.
Along the way. And that's something I tell them. So that's a challenge too.
That's huge.
Because if you know you can't make it at 9,
I call
don't
text.
set it at 9.
Yeah.
Make it at 10 because you know you'll be there.
Yes.
So go 10 to 5 or whatever. Don't have people looking for you.
That's
I
huge.
I know a restaurant that has amazing food. However, you don't know when they're going to be there.
We need
And
consistency.
that's hard because sometimes you get your mouth fixed for
And
something.
I'm ready. Be
and you're
there.
going out there and you go there and no signs
And
on the
they're
door.
not open.
Not open.
That
You don't know
shuts it
when they're
down
going to
for
open.
me.
Yeah, me too.
It shuts it
Because when
down.
that happens, it tells me that they are not
Something's
concerned
not.
about me
Yeah.
or any of the other
Yeah.
customers.
I agree.
And then people start going, and then they say, well, I don't know, I used to have a lot of customers. Well, they never knew when you were going to be there.
yeah, you
Let's
have
just
to
talk.
say, what's that? If you build it, they will come.
If you build it right, they will
Well,
come.
I feel like if you're open, they will come. And
Yes.
you've been in business for many years, and I've been in business for many years, and I have to tell you, there are customers that surface I would have never imagined. You hear me?
Yeah.
And I stay open.
That's right. You have to. Because you know what we know? We know that people need.
We know.
The need is there.
The
and
need's
so
there.
we have to be there to address those needs
We
because
have to.
that's what our abilities, our skills are.
That's so good.
And our passion.
That's so good.
So we found out what our purpose was and we're working in that purpose.
Right.
And that's why the stuff we put out helps you.
Indeed.
Period.
It does.
A dot.
Oh my goodness, this has been so amazing. We're down to our last few minutes. And if you could tell small businesses anything, and for them to really hear you as we wrap this up, BC, think about everything you've thrown into everything you've been doing for the last couple of decades or even more. What would you say to us?
I would definitely say, if you're not sure who you are, to find out.
Okay.
Because if you don't know who you are and what you were put in, look, we're all born with a purpose.
Yes.
Until we find out what that purpose is, we're doing a whole lot of stuff. We're making decisions that may not make sense to us. We may be in jobs that are marrying people that we shouldn't be marrying, right? So I would say, number one, spend some time with yourself, find out who you are. The next thing is to, if you're not disciplined in your thinking and what you want to do, figure out some kind of regiment
Okay.
that you can do every day, do the same thing.
Okay.
because without discipline,
Right.
there cannot be consistency.
Okay.
Okay? We have to be able to understand where we're going, what we're doing. And remember, for our customers, they look for consistency.
They do.
They look for you to have the products on the
That's
shelf,
good.
the service available, and the
Right.
doors to be open when you say.
That's
So
right.
please do that. And before you start, please plan to plan
Plan.
and plan and
I've
plan.
been hearing that. Plan.
And
plan,
lay that
plan.
out and walk through it with somebody else that's in business who really wants to see you succeed. And that may not be your mother or your father or your sister or brother or your auntie or your cousin. It may be someone that you know who is already making it out there, who can give you some good information. Don't be afraid to use the resources that you have available to you. And don't forget to use us.
Yeah,
We're here and available.
We're here. We got you.
Use
and
us.
There's a ton of resources
That's right.
that we know about that
That's
you may
right.
not know about.
That's
and
right.
we are here for you.
Right. Financial. People ask me all the time, how can I do a loan?
Right.
Okay, call me up.
Right.
I can prepare you, and I can also provide that resource for you.
And have been for many years. So this has been
Thank you.
fabulous.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
Yes.
And for you, the audience, thank you for tuning in. If you have questions or concerns, our information is after the show. Please reach out. If you don't do anything, reach out and take heed to what you're hearing and know that you do have people like myself, Nicole Ryan with Lana Solutions, BC Clark with the Business Connection. We're here for you. So reach out and maybe we can at least have a conversation, okay?
Absolutely.
It's your girl, Nicole Ryan with Lana Solutions. On this show, your Debt Diva. Have a fabulous, fabulous day, night, week. October, I don't know when this
And
is
love
gonna
yourself.
air, but love yourself. And like
yourself.
BC said, figure out who you are, and then everything else will come. All right? See ya.